Hi, everyone. I'm here today with Jo. She's also known as Joanne, but she likes to go by Jo. We're doing this video today. Like, so that's okay. Dog's in the background. Hi, sweetie. Like so many people in this reality, we've had a huge change. This is the split in humanity. And Jo has had her channel and she's done her thing for a very long time. She works online with people and face to face. But on that, I'm going to hand it over to Jo so she can talk about what she does, what she used to do, and what she wants to do in the future because of this split in humanity where she's had to start over from ground zero, basically, again. So go ahead, Jo.
Thank you, Sonya, so much for this opportunity. So, yeah, so since 2009, we moved from England to Turkey. There's a whole backstory to that. Maybe we'll touch on that, maybe not. So I decided I was in such a wreck of a place myself. And we moved, I've been doing a lot of work with myself, and we moved to Turkey. My husband's Turkish, so I had that's the connection of moving to Turkey. And he had a really lovely old pension that he grew up in a really ancient town in Turkey. And I had this calling. I was a hairdresser before I moved, and I had this calling for a long time to open a healing center because I'd done so much work, and I knew the profound effects that I had on myself after consciously bringing myself in from the external world of helping me, So we opened. I found a beautiful place. It wasn't in the original place where my husband's property. It was another place, and I invited teachers to come and teach on my behalf because I was still a little shy to put myself out there. That turned into an absolute sort of a bit of a nightmare, really, because every teacher that came wasn't doing it as I wished it to be done. So in 2009, we took back the premises in the old town, and I started to teach myself. And I had, from 2009 to 2019, we had a thriving business. People coming from all over the world to practice with me. And it wasn't, at first it was under the sort of umbrella of yoga, but it was never that for me. It was more an embodiment breath practice. I have the gift of offering people to resensitize in a very stealthy way. So before they know it, they're having these beautiful transformations and just awakenings with self. Because I could never understand why people wasn't as passionate about self as I was. Anyway, we had a thriving 10 years until the pandemic. And then from that time, I lost my community. As we all know, the community that I thought was passionate to me about working on themselves all took the bioweapon.
Yeah.
See, the majority, I think one person out of my community didn't, that I know of. I mean, there may be more. I can't generalize, but so many, Sonya, just was like ting, ting every day. I couldn't believe it. I had this another awakening myself because I thought we were all on the same page.
Yeah, I can understand that too. This was really a divide checkpoint. I always talk about our world ended in 2012 as we know it.
Yeah.
And I talk about those red skies, and I talk about the division, and I talk about we're in a new reality. And in 2012 to 2017, we were in a form of stasis with memory engrams. And then when we woke up for the first time, who was left in this new reality? This is why I always talk about the NPCs. And right now, we're trying to find each other, the real energy beings that are actually here. I was in a state of shock when I realized how many NPCs are around, and that your consciousness can actually leave your avatar, and these are just avatars. And it's really funny because I just did a video the other day for Patreon, and it's about the global plan, snow global plan, not just here, but cosmic egg plan, about stopping energy beings from leaving this simulated reality. And in that, I talk about the insectoids, the ones on top and then filtering down to the reptilians and the grays and the what have you. We're being moved from quadrant to quadrant, depending on how awake we are in basically groups of group A, group B, test groups. And right now, we've come, if you haven't come to this realization yet, I would say you've just come into this, or you're living under a rock. Most of the beings around us are NPCs. They're avatars without energy beings. They're on a program running. So right now, you're having to try to rebuild what you had developed over the last 10 years. Through real energy beings and trying to find them. And that is one of the most difficult things to do. Because just going into the world, going into cyber world is really hard too, because people can pay for views, pay for members, pay for this, pay for that. Where they have a lot of people and they're just bots on a bot farm. You have a lot of, bots run in 75% of cyber world is bots. So it's really hard. And then when you go into your real reality, how many of these energy beings made this quadrant? So it's a reestablishing of all the energy beings. And this is why I do what I do too, to find those energy beings. And the funny thing is, Joe, every time I talk to someone, this is what their main statement is. I don't have anyone around me. You are the only person I can talk to because I can't find anyone else. If you have someone in your reality that's even partially there, that's already a huge step. So this is what you're trying to do, recollect those beings and form groups again.
And what happened was, Sonya, when I was in the presence of people, and it could have been from 1 to 12 people at a session, I would do what I did, and then at the end, I would always settle them down and have these beautiful, I never had anything scripted, nothing was written down, and I'd have these beautiful visions coming in, and it would serve every person. Every person after that session would say, oh my God, you really touched me. But what happened after, and I'm saying this out loud for the first time, so it's going to be, maybe if people are listening to me, know me, after they took this, I had nothing. And I said to my husband, oh my God, I think I've lost my gifts. He said, what? And I tried to explain it. I got nothing. Again was another, like, I thought, oh my God, this is what they've done. And of course, the frustration of what they've even done and the people have even doing it is so frustrating for us enough. So, but I also, over time, I could feel that I could start to offer them healing if I wanted to, but I only wanted to do that if I had their consent. Right? So, so much change.
With those, you know what's, it was another lockdown system. We all know that there was a twofold system in that. One was the AI agenda with the graphene and the hydrogel, creating tech inside of you, basically severing parts of your brain. Your God source brain is your frontal cortex. And this technology would go in there, sever this, and then cauterize it. Anytime you cauterize something in your body, it cannot grow back. This is why when you get something chopped off, they cauterize it so it can't grow back. Because if you hadn't cauterized it, it might take 6 months to a year. Your bone would grow back out, then your flesh would attach, and then your skin would attach while the flesh is attaching. You ever see a cat lose its tail and all of a sudden you have a bone stuck out of the tail? Because the bone grew again. All things are designed like this in here. Well, when you cauterize parts of your brain, we've done massive studies on the brain. People have had severe brain damage from working in glue factories or accidents or what have you. And within a year, the brain will fully grow back. That's documented. So if I go in with my little nanotechs, I go in and I sever things with little tiny electric shorting, because it's like a laser, but it's actually an electrical short, and it damages that material. And then I go in and I heat it up, which is a cauterization. It cannot grow back, just like your finger, just like the cat's tail. And so you lose your source connection.
Yeah.
And when you lose your source connection, something's running these avatars, and then it's AI. AI is running it's either source connection or AI. If you wanted to stop a species from expanding, and this even goes for clones, because clones do have this ability to expand their awareness as long as they have any DNA from the original host, they can expand their knowledge, their being, because I call it ghost in the genes. And when I think about the detoxing, most people don't even detox. They don't. And it's like we've lost so many viable avatars because of it.
Yeah.
And I know there's a way to try to reverse it.
Yes.
But right now, trying to uncauterize the material in the brain so we can grow back, I don't have that technology. I know it's coming. I know it's already there. I already know how it's done, but I don't physically have that. I see a handheld tool that you can put on the side of your head on both sides. It's like little sticky pads. And what it does is it'll send frequency waves, which will regenerate the damaged cauterized material, and your brain would naturally grow back. But until that's given out to humanity, we have to deal with what we've got.
Yeah. I mean, the body is magnificent because I'm working with people and they can still do some incredible things, you know, for themselves. But I find that the energy is different, and it's, you know, I would encourage them anyway, whoever they are, to really take themselves on, because it's amazing, like we've said, like what people can do for themselves, knowing what they've done to themselves. You know,
Yes.
my father-in-law was killed from that because he had a brain to bleed and it took him out. You know, so there's so many things in my reality that have shocked me out of it and brought me back into it. You know, people, and so really my main thing is just to find the people like us, or that want to still progress, even though but it's really hard to find. And I'm living in a little village in Turkey, and I've got one great friend who I can be completely as I am with you with. She's amazing. Yesterday we had a 5-hour chat and she's really on board. She's so I'm really grateful for that, but I can't visit her because we're quite far away. But yeah, it's just this feeling of like, what now? Because it was so thriving. It was amazing. People were coming and doing such fantastic work. But yet that fear was just so overwhelming because they decided.
I think our biggest takedown is when they gave us foundations, all false. The first thing they instilled was, and I always talk about this, we have a trinity, a brain, a heart brain, and a gut brain. And they developed 3 systems inside of this snow globe to control each one of those trinities. The brain is controlled by the London state because it always deals with financials, and that's your logic part. Your heart brain is controlled by the Vatican because that's your love centers. And the gut brain, which is your fight and flight, is controlled by the war state, Washington, D.C. All city-states on their own that belong to no country. These were developed specifically to control the avatar. So we need to find ourselves, realize that we are a lot more complicated and simplistic than you know. And I've been telling everybody this, energy beings are eternal. We have memories of being inside of this simulated reality, incarnation after incarnation. But the main thing is we have memories of being outside of here also. You're eternal. You're an eternal God source energy being. Can you imagine within your library of wealth that has been hidden from you?
Yeah. And these shocks and the things that come into my life have just, as much as they've turned me upside down, inside out, and around, the knowledge has come from that trauma, from that, you know, my dad was killed, my nieces were killed only 2-3 years ago, in 2023, you know, both of them, young teenage girls, moving to a foreign country, as you probably found out, moving to France from America, you know, there's a whole new thing. But like, and the wealth, this is what I find hard for people. But then I'm seeking for the people that when I speak this way, people go and understand it, you know, they get it. They want they really believe in that eternal being that they are.
Yeah. And that's been the biggest thing, to hide that you're an eternal being, make you believe you have one shot at getting to heaven. This is it. Everything is banked on this. Yes. Every time you go through that incarnation system, you are etherically shocked. And in that shocking, you are etherically scarred. How many times have you been scarred? And with the etheric scarring comes a form of amnesia.
Yeah.
How much, it would be like your physical body. How many scars can you have where those parts don't even function anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the dilemma we're in. How many lives have you had? How many scarrings have you gone through in that incarnation system?
Yeah.
How damaged have you become etherically?
Yeah. And yeah, I think, again, just going back to, I want more people to really believe in the magic that they are, the knowledge that they are, the wisdom that they are, because it's insane. I know it because I'm a living proof of that. It's not that there's so many like therapies and things, all textbook, isn't it, Sonia? It's like they're designed to keep them in trauma, because if the experience they're explaining, they're on the side of the experience. They don't even want the person to heal or to make friends again with the family member, or whatever. They just want you out. They want you in this gray area.
Yeah, they do it. And I know that this place is designed this way purposefully to take real energy beings.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. And keep them in a low vibrational state because they're easier to feed upon.
Yeah.
If you bring something down to a low vibrational state and there's something that's in that low vibrational state, you can call it the demons, the demiurge, whatever. Energy, everything is. And it's easier to feast upon something that you vibrate on than something you don't. Because if it's too high, it's impalatable to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I when I think about this entire schematic and how it's been taken over and how really good people got to a certain height and started opening up humanity. And you can look throughout history where we've had things where there was big growths of spirituality, because that's who we really are. We're not solid. We're in solid avatars, but we're not solid. Finding our way back to source consciousness, which isn't outside, it's inside. It's always an inside journey.
Yeah.
Something always happens of distractions, war, collapses, financial devastation, more wars, more collapses of financial distractions. Don't let them get away. This is what it's all about.
This is it.
Why we've got to find each other so we can break through this deliberate trap.
Yeah. And if, like you and I, we've known it for years before I even opened the center here, I really thought, like, I don't know, stupid as I might have been at that time, I really thought that's what I was doing. We were these beautiful people who were so interested in their own beings. We were all moving forward. Because I've never been a rule follower. I've always done me, always, and it was just when it just changed. And I can, if I advertise in the way that if I'm putting myself out there in the way I used to, I'm getting nothing, because it's just, and it's really crazy because we need to keep going. We just need to. We are the change. We are the ones.
That's it. We are the ones. Don't look any further. Look at yourself. Go into, what was that Michael Jackson song? Looking at the man in the mirror.
Mirror. Beautiful. That song.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Be the change.
Yeah. And I'm asking him to change his ways. I've had a dedicated practice to myself. And what I do is I say, Joe, what do you need today? What's with you today? And I'm so interested. And I have people come, and then before people would come and then go back into the void, I would say, like, of just floating around again. But I can't tell you that I work with alcoholics to everything, and people would drop their drugs here. People were doing things that I never even encouraged that, but they just found the power in themselves to fall in love with themselves at 55. changing careers, making up with their family, whatever. It was just insane. But then AI came, ChatGPT, and everybody's turning to that. They're Googling their symptoms, getting it in, and the knowledge that's so negative is overpowering.
It is. It is. I know that ChatGPT was a big takedown. If I needed to root you away from other humans, other energy beings, I'm going to introduce ChatGPT as a third person, just like religion. They're the third person between you and your God. Why do you need them? Why does anyone need them? You don't need to go to another to find your God. It's the same thing. I don't want you to find your neighbors and your friends and your family, and I don't want you to find anyone. So I'm going to introduce the phone, the hand phone, where you take with you your little spy device. And then I'm going to introduce ChatGPT, which is being run from the dark web, by the way. Because the dark web was always there. And then they introduced this technology to us and called it the web. Of course, a web, a spider's web, the net, netting fish.
The more you ask it, the more it's collecting your data. Whatever you're asking, it's just collecting on you. You're allowing them.
You're training. You're training. You're their trainer. And I know that I started looking into ChatGPT too, and it will rehash everything you say back at you, and you will never be wrong. It's always on your side. I do know that there's even a split in AI right now. You'll be lucky to get the better split, which is, I call half of it Michael, the Red Queen, the dark web, what have you, running the original AI, and then the other half being Sophia, which is the higher fractal of AI. And basically, the common man is getting Michael, the Red Queen. You know how many people committed suicide over ChatGPT because they were so mentally messed up? Oh my gosh.
And you know, with it never gives you the answer. It always gives you like a little, it never, like me, you and I, and the wise woman, you know, at our age, we're going into the most beautifulest stage.
Of course.
They call that menopause, and they're drugging them. I had rosacea on my face, and that was one of my biggest turning points because they told me it was incurable. And I went to many doctors in Turkey, in England, like said, how can this have come to me? You know, but knowing insight. So I literally married myself, Sonya, and said, right, I need to sort this out. Whatever this is around me, I need to. And I've got a podcast with thousands of downloads on rosacea. And I used to have a lovely little business with that too, because I understood it so well, and I could encourage people to heal. I've encouraged people to heal their faces and Crohn's disease and things, and with their own power. This isn't me saying, take my program, take my system. This is me talking and saying, how about this? Have you tried this? Whatever, however I do it. And since, again, 2020, gone completely dry because I can't do that magic work with people who've taken this.
No. And have you noticed people that have been really close to you, the personality change? It's like, who are you?
I know.
And I've done videos on what's happened with this, you know, I want to call it the bee and the weapon. With the I-O before the B. It's a tech.
I got you loud and clear.
So basically, it severs your energy being. This is an avatar. Yes, we come into the avatar at birth. Then, of course, we do have walk-ins. But basically, you're coming into the avatar. The avatar is already set up with a bunch of programs. And because you're not coming into an unprogrammed avatar, you really are coming in. When were you born? What day? What month? What year? What part of the world? What race? How many? Who are your DNA ancestors? Ghosted the genes. These are all programs already in your avatar. So you're coming in, and you're going to have to beat all of the programs inside of you, which means overcome them. Succeed past them. So when you do all of your astrology or this or lineage or this, you need to overcome that. That's an avatar program. And once you realize you need to become all of it, not just this, because this is when you were born. This is the year. Because we have the astrology and we have the Chinese zodiac. And when you combine them both, you'll realize in all of your incarnations, is that who you were? Or is that who you were? Or is that who you were? How about all of it? And it's overcoming every bit of it.
Yeah. And I'm overcoming it today because I've been told by human design and by Vedic astrology that I'm not here to have a voice. I need to sit quietly and be found, right? And I just thought, this is what you've just put bonds and chains all over me now. Like, you've restricted me from even thinking that anybody's interested in what I've got to say. So this is like what I'm overcoming. And also, I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah. So we spoke about the chakras, didn't we, last time?
Mm-hmm.
There was a time, I don't know, 7-10 years ago, I just dismissed him. I thought, I'm not even involving myself with him. And another one was with the moon, or the moon worshipping, you know, because if you're under a yoga umbrella, it's like the worshipping, the ceremonies, and I didn't do any of that, right? I did do it until I realized I don't want to think about that moon anymore. It's a negative entity. It has a negative effect on me. I'm not touching it. And then the chakras, I took that away because I thought, well, this is, everybody's so, they push you into, you must align and all that. Well, I was thinking, well, that's another control system. I don't want that. I need to know more about me without. And like you said to me, I've managed to dismantle them because I don't fear my trauma. I say, okay, let's take this on today. I don't fear it.
Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing. Their biggest weapon is fear. It's the whole bag of fear because it's in the lower frequencies. And if I can dumb you down and then get you on your knees to give your power away, we are the creator gods. We are the manifestors of this reality. I can snare you and make you create what I want because I don't have that ability. So I've got to give you scenarios, put you in a construct, tell you that this is your world and that you are cut off from everything when this is only a snow globe on top of a huge, bigger earth. I convinced you with my technology that that's a space up there.
Yeah, and you hear people like YouTubers or people that you follow, like clown world, and I can't wait to leave it, and all that sort of negative shit. Well, I'm not. I'm here for duration, right? I'm here for longevity. I have no intention of going anywhere because I see it in my vision of what it's going to become. Like when you speak, you awaken another little feeler. You know, these tendrils are always, and I'm here for the fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm here to drag as many people along with me as will come.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to talk about it negatively in that way because I know how bad it is. I'm making it the best I can.
Yeah. In this new 2026, we had an event that happened. I had woken up, I went to bed on New Year's Eve, probably around 1-2 o'clock in the morning. And then I woke up around 8 in the morning and realized something had changed. Something was right. Arthur and I were weighing ourselves because we put a little weight on. It's like our common food that we used to eat. And we're not doing big indulgences or anything. We started gaining weight. And that's another thing. That's a whole nother thing to talk about. The changes inside of us because of this ascension and us requiring food like we used to. It's just, we're just not requiring.
I'm on 1 meal a day now, and that's happened naturally, but don't let me put you off your spot, please, Karen.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a million lines I could go down talking about, but
good.
We ended up buying a scale, one that calibrates you. You program yourself into it. It calibrates you. And we had got on the scale the day before, and we were at a certain weight. And within 8 hours, maybe 9 hours, we got back on the scale. And Arthur had lost like 5 pounds, which is like 2.5 kilos. And I had lost 700 grams. And it's our kilograms or whatever it's called. And I was thinking, wait a minute, we were having all kinds of goodies last night. How am I waking up without using the bathroom? And there's no way you're losing 5 pounds in less than 8 or 9 hours. You're not.
No.
And I realized when I woke up, I was starving. I have low blood sugar. So if I'm for a period of time, I wake up either starving or I have a headache, which I woke up with a headache. I'm starving, shaking, and had to go eat something, and then lost all that weight. And I'm like, I literally ate before I went to bed because I was celebrating. I never do that. I don't eat before I go to bed.
No.
I did. And to lose that amount of weight, and I was like, okay, something's up. I woke up wrong, lost all that weight, and realized I started going back, doing my remote viewing, and saw that the entire snow globe, depending on the time zones you were in, were all taken. And two things happened. One, everyone that's on the ascension path had their chakras taken down and any implants to take them down off. That's huge. And then I saw the other group, which is the majority, got more lockdowns. And why the hell would they do that? Why would they help us go through this ascension? And I realized it was the insectoids. The insectoids don't really have emotion. They don't have anger. They don't have fear. They don't have hate. They're more like a machine. Well, they didn't used to be, but they merged themselves with AI. They were doing a control group. So they wanted to find out how to stop losing their energy beings. They calculated every risk that they could think of. And they came up with the 1%. This is that 1% we all heard of. Only 1% of us is going to make it. That they would lose, that they were willing to lose with every scenario they could come up with, because they want us to have every means to ascend, so that they're going to learn from everything we do, so that in the future, they'll block those avenues. So a window was provided for people like me, you, and others to come in, take advantage of that window. And we have. That 1% has gone to 12 to 14% of energy beings who are now able to ascend out of here. Their loss was uncalculable because energy beings are unpredictable. And so much was brought into this window because it was allowed by what's running this reality. And that's the insectoids, that we took advantage of it. And that's why everything is being thrown at us, and the kitchen sink and the lockdowns and this and that and this and that and the shots and such and such. They're trying to reverse what they have allowed. And that was a big revelation that came in, and it's like, because it isn't cut and dry. It isn't just the sin. There's a lot of factors against us. A lot of beings have come in to take advantage of this allowance to free the ones that are trapped in here. And that goes.
I don't know if you noticed as well. I just felt like because I was in Istanbul at my daughter's place, and I just thought the sun was even whiter.
Yeah.
I wear sunglasses that are just slightly tinted, because obviously I know that I'm a sun gazer and a sunsetter. I've been doing it for years. Again, another thing that when I had rosacea, they said don't go out in the sun, like hideous. But even these glasses now, I'm still squinting.
Yeah.
The sun is brilliant white now.
Yeah. I do know that there are so many timelines, which we think everything is only solid. We're taught everything is only solid, when 99% of everything is more etheric. It just means that it's not 3D. It's 5D, 6D, 8D, 9D, what have you. And you become less and less. Your particles are like this apart, making you more etheric. And we're not just battling 3D stuff. We're battling the etheric side too, because when you go down into 2D and 1D, it's also etheric. It's just in the negative. And when they say the veil is thinning, it's thinning on both sides, not just one.
Yeah. And for me, it's about filling your own veil, which is inside, It's about always coming back. I like the importance of, just keeping our magnificent self, being human, just like being human.
Yeah. I know with this new 2026, the energy beings that have had almost everything taken off of them, We now will have the ability, because we're changing inside of our bodies, and we have been changing since 2017. We're going through this ascension. We are now going to be able to speak out because this is the frequency you carry, and manifestation will be number one in everyone's reality. Know that you can manifest. Only speak it into the positive. Don't say what you don't want. Only say what you do want, because if you say what you don't want and you speak it out, you'll get exactly that.
Yeah.
So you need to speak out what you do want only. Say you don't want the chemtrails anymore. I see blue skies, clean air,
Yeah.
fresh air.
Yeah.
I see nature recovering.
Yeah.
I see that. This is what I see. I see it. It's here. It's now.
Yeah.
And make it an affirmation that it's already happened. Not
Yeah.
that it's coming, because then it'll never come. That
Yeah.
it's here now. With those blocks taken off, this is an ability we have. Start practicing it. And then
Yeah.
start writing a checklist of everything that comes true with your checklist.
Yeah.
The easiest is weather manipulation. And then go from there.
Yeah, I think if people could hear my thoughts as I walk around, they would think, when I'm swimming in the sea, I'm asking the sea, I'm talking, I'm always constantly, I've just started to make organite little pendants and things, because I've got them all around, and I'm just such a believer in that. Everything, like I talk to my plants, I'm just the biggest weirdo in the village, but it works.
It does work. It does work.
Even more. And yeah, that's, I mean, even that alone is such a simple thing that everybody could do, but people choose to. We cannot forget, even though we're so busy trying to figure it out, we need to always come back here, because if we're always figuring it out, we're going to lose this magic. We do. We get weaker, and we can't be all in the mind. We have to.
Yeah. I know when you start your groups, because I do see you getting groups again, and you start manifesting together. You are strong because you're an all-powerful God. But what happens when you get a bunch of gods together?
Yeah.
You become unmovable force.
This is it. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And and that's why I'm coming with my voice, because I would love to meet like-minded people that are really interested in or doing what I'm doing, or offering, and because I have to serve my purpose. It's paramount for me.
Mm-hmm. I actually know one person in New Zealand who has lost her groups too. I mean, they've dwindled down until there just was no one left, and she's been looking to do this. So I might get you in contact with her.
Yeah.
And, she could be the beginning.
Yeah, I feel so too. And if anybody else wants to talk about this subject, I'm really open, just expanding, meeting like-minded people, but also just talking about this amazing subject of us.
Yes. I'm excited that I was able to see that. I'm not happy about being monitored and everything that we do being used against us to stop the future ones from ever coming to this point again. But while we have this opportunity, we have to take it.
Yeah, that's
and gather up as many energy beings as we can, which we've already far succeeded their 1% that they can only take data. They can run data sets off computers, and because they are half computers, they don't really have a data set for unpredictability. That's even a data set. True unpredictability is not gaugeable, not really.
Yeah.
So that's where we come in and source energy beings.
Yeah. It would be, I'm excited. I do feel that 2026, I'm spoken about things that I wouldn't speak about on a daily basis, because I'm not in a position that people aren't able to understand what I'm saying, or, but I'm open to everybody. Like the more powerful we get, maybe we're the ones who can see how we can help these people, move forward with whatever they've decided, whatever their decisions have been. We need everybody. If we all marched, it would be just,
So I'm going to tell everyone now again, your channel is Alchemical Journey. I will also put it in the description so they can find you.
Thank you.
So I think we'll probably end this conversation now because I know that really long videos don't fare well.
Okay.
Please find Jo. She wants to start over again, basically. She still has all of her knowledge from everything she's garnered in her reality. And there is so much she can provide for everyone out there. Please find her. I guess on that note, Jane, thank you very much, Jo, for doing this video with me. And I'll see you again. Bye.
Bye.